Who owns the intellectual property you paid for? As a business owner or CEO of a company, you are regularly paying people to create intellectual property for the company. This might be employees, designers, contractors, a vendor. The question, though, is if you pay for work to get done, do you own the intellectual property rights from that work? The answer might surprise you. If the person is an employee, you generally own the intellectual property right. In other words, if an employee prepares a design or software for a company, the company generally owns the intellectual property. But if you hire a contractor, in general, the contractor owns the intellectual property. Now, this is a shock to many companies because you might think, hey, I paid somebody to put together a logo for me or to write computer software for me. I thought that if I pay a company $100,000 to write software code for me, that we own the code. The general rule in the United States is that you don't own the code if it's prepared by a contractor. Now, that default rule can change if you have a contract that says you own the code. Typically, this is called a work-for-hire provision. It might also be called an intellectual property assignment. Basically, if you have any creative work, software, design, video, text, language, audio, whatever it is that you have put together by a contractor, the general rule is you will not own the copyright and trademark rights in that. There might even be patent rights. You will not own that intellectual property unless a contract says you own it and they don't. And that contract generally needs to be signed by them. So the best practice is if you are going to have an independent contractor, so that's a contractor of any type who's not an employee of yours, maybe it's an agency, maybe it's a company, an LLC, an individual, it really doesn't matter. If that contractor is putting together something for you that would have copyright value or some other intellectual property right value, make sure you have a contract that says this is work for hire. You own the intellectual property rights in what they are creating. I'm Aaron Hall. I'm an attorney representing business owners and entrepreneurial companies. This is one of many common mistakes I see companies make. And if you'd like to know some of the other common mistakes, I have a free guide for you. You can get it at aaronhall.com/free. Not only will you get the guide, but you'll get videos explaining how to avoid some of these common problems in your company so you can keep legal fees to a minimum and avoid legal trouble. To learn more about me, visit aaronhall.com.